All right, released items 2018 number 3. So on this one, definitely a lot of words, but the main thing we're looking for is this right here. So what we want to do is we want to turn this, expression into this expression. All right, and I forgot this is actually a T, kind of hard to see. But yeah, that's a T there. All right, so basically what we want to do is we want this to turn into just T, right? And then they're asking us, what is the value of B? So after we change this into this, what does, and notice how the A stays the same, right? So we're just saying like, okay, well, instead of 1/2, what is that going to turn into, right? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So we're going to start with this. We're going to try to get it to look like this, right? So I'm going to take f of t, and instead of writing t over 4, I'm going to change it up a little bit and write it as 1/4 times t, right? So I remember that there's an invisible 1. Let me use a different color here. So there's an invisible 1 right here in front of that t, right? So it's basically 1t over 4, or 1/4 times t, right? Hopefully everybody agrees that 1/4 times t equals 1t over 4. Okay? All right. So now that I have that, I want to keep the t here, but I want the 1/4 to go away, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 1/4 and I'm going to apply it to this, right? So basically, like, this is what I want to do, is I want to do that, right? And basically that's what the result is, right? Like, now this is b, right? This value is b, because I have the t out here that matches up, I have the a here that matches up, so that means that this value here has to equal this value here, b, right? Let me erase a lot of that mess here. All right, so anyway, this is b. So now I'm just looking for, okay, which one of these equals this? Okay, so couple things, like 1/2 to the 4th doesn't equal, like 1/2 to the 4th doesn't equal 1/2 to the 1/4, right? Raising to the power of 4 is a lot different than raising to the power of 1/4, so that one's not it. Also, raising something to the 1/4 power isn't the same as multiplying by 1/4, so that's not it. Okay, so those are there to kind of trick you. So that breaks it down to one of these two, right? And so what we have to remember is, if you have, let me start all over. If you have something, a base to a fractional exponent, that means that you can put that into radical form, right? Where you have an n here, and then you have b to the m here, correct? So if you remember doing that, that's kind of what's happening here. So I have 1/2, which is my base, to the 1/4 power. So I can convert that to a radical where I have this becomes my index, right? And then I put the 1/2 inside here, and this becomes my inside exponent, right? And so now you can see which one of these it looks like, right? And so I'll let you pick the one that works from there. But yeah, hopefully it's pretty obvious at that point. And the key thing is this right here, right? So that's not a square root, right? Remember, there's invisible 2 if you have a square root. But this is not a square root, it's a 4th root. All right. So don't forget to select your answers for full credit. And thanks for watching. Keep working hard.